father in your life. That excuse of, I didn't have a dad, but look where it got you, my brother.
Listen, I certainly used the excuse till that excuse didn't work. God, man, why would you have done this to me? Like, why me? Why this? And all that? And
You not having a father, do you think that added to
manipulation is the center of that is selfishness, right?
Right.
It's for me. Even when it's positive, I'm trying to sell you something for the business. At the end of the day, it's all about self.
what we see in the rap culture, in the urban culture, in the hip hop stuff? You know, that's success. It really isn't. That's not the success, but
Right.
it's being able to achieve something that you thought was unachievable. Even if you don't know what you want to do, know what you don't want to do. And I said, my brother, that is great, bro. Know what you don't want to do. I don't want to be a crackhead. I don't want to be broke. Hey, how you guys doing out there? Welcome to the Fathers Podcast. I want to welcome these brothers right here with me. I got my brother Jesse, and I got my boy right here, our guest Joaquin from Mastermind Care in Margate, Florida. We appreciate you coming in here to bless us.
Thank you, bud.
And it's been, I've been looking forward to you coming in, man, since we talked.
Yeah, for real.
And I'm glad to have my brother Jesse here with me to conduct this podcast.
Yeah, man.
You know, I've known you for a while, my brother, and I want, one of the biggest reasons why we created this platform, like we were talking, you know, before, is to give a stage to just, not just, you know, obviously the Fathers Podcast is directed towards, you know, men fathers, right? Yeah. And I always say this when the last couple episodes, you know, we wouldn't be fathers without mothers, so we want to give love to the women out there and the mothers 100%. Out there, because we know as men we need them. We could talk whatever we want, but we need these women, right?
Yeah.
But we want to give a stage to just incredible individuals, especially fathers that just do things in their life that just make a difference. I've known you for quite a few years now, and you've been impactful since the moment I met you. I haven't seen you in a long time, and I sincerely just appreciate you coming on, with such quick notice. I think the viewers are going to enjoy this conversation. I think they're going to learn a lot. I hope they're really, if you're listening in or you're watching, please listen to what this man is going to go through and what he's going to say. And I can't wait for you to pick his brain too, Jesse, because it's where we're from and how we were raised and what we talk about a lot. Yeah. You're going to hear a lot of stuff from this man. And, you know, when they say great minds think alike, right? Like, it's amazing how, you know, when you talk to like-minded individuals, how it's just, I love it because it just brings more conviction to what I believe, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait. I mean, I've heard a lot about you, man, heard a lot about what you're doing to just help people. And it's so inspiring for me personally to see how your servant's heart, that you just want to help others, man, get to where they want to get to. So let's dive in. I'm ready, man.
No, absolutely, my brother. And, you know, and I want to say, like, I asked him before you came, and I said this, and it just shows, and this was before the cameras were on. I said, what do you want? I asked him, I said, what do you want to get out of, you know, this podcast? What if you had to pick one thing of what people are going to get from this show? What would it be? Right. And he humbly said, being a servant.
Wow.
And for that to be the first thing that pops into your head is just, this is why you're here. Again, we want to give a stage to fathers, to men that have gone through so many journeys in their life and have just prevailed. Nobody knows how strong they are until they're tested.
That's right.
Right? And a lot of people walking around thinking they're strong and they haven't been tested. You've been tested, my brother. Oh, yeah. You've been tested, and you've been tested again and again and again. And thank God you're here with us today. We were just saying it can't be a bad day if we're here and we're having this conversation. So if you can tell our people listening in or watching a little bit about Mastermind Care in Margate, what is it you do there? And then, you know, we'll get into other things, but if you can kind of let us know, you know, what goes on in Mastermind Care.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, first, thank you. I mean, what a hell of a intro. You know, I'll be honest, brother. I am humbled to be here. Where I come from, I would have never imagined doing something like this. So, I praise you guys for even having this kind of platform for us to, as men, fathers, as leaders in our community, to really set the tone for what we should look like, and
Right.
just trying to represent us, the way we ought to be represented, really.
Absolutely.
Mastermind is a treatment center for people who struggle with substance abuse, mental health issues, anything from anxiety, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, schizoaffective, you name it. The gamut when it comes to all the different disorders. Substance use disorder is, it's pretty prevalent in our society, and we deal with really low bottom cases. Our demographic is typically the person that's coming off the street, who has no other door to knock on, burned every bridge, no relationships left, and we're a 30 to 45, 60, 90-day program where we give individual treatment in a way that we're touching your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, all aspects of your life, to help with the recidivism, coming, in and out of jail, and
Right.
and ending up on the streets again, or ending up in these terrible relationships that don't make sense. So my wife and I founded Mastermind with having our experience, with what we went through, and taking the successes
Right.
In my life, in my wife's life, and our little nucleus, really trying to be parents, to all these people that we encounter and meet, and through the years, we're talking about thousands of people that have came through our program now.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
incredible,
it's funny
brother.
because we were just looking at data the other day, and dude, it's a lot of people.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people, and I wish I could say that we helped everybody. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I'm one of those people that I struggled for many years. I had my first problem, I'd say, in 1994. So,
Yeah.
we're talking, it's been some time, right?
been a minute, yeah.
And, I think we created a
and
space.
real quick, so just so people understand, like, you're in a position, you put yourself in a position to help people, but you were those people back in the day.
100%.
That's incredible, my brother.
Listen, I'm somebody, look, I was born in Miami, Little Havana. I'm from a neighborhood where we had bars on our windows and doors. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like that's
right.
and when I was little, like if you had bars on your windows and doors, that was fame right there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
goes to show, like it wasn't really for fame, no, that was for protection, dog.
Protection, yeah.
That's where I grew up, I grew up pre-Nintendo, we played outside, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
yeah.
I'd go home after school, watch Different Strokes, Knight Rider, A-Team,
Right.
My grandmother would have, café con leche with my, and my soda crackers, and dude, and you get beat up and you come home, whatever.
Right.
But I grew up without a father. My mother was my mom and dad.
Right.
My grandfather kind of took the disciplinarian role, and really did the best he could with what he knew, right? With
Sure.
the way he was raised, and back then things were different, man. You caught ass whooping, bro.
Right.
Like everybody caught the ass.
That's right.
whooping,
That's right.
You went to school and the parents told the teachers, "Hey, listen, he gets out of line, you smack that motherfucker."
That's
right.
So,
Right.
it was a different time for sure. And I remember when I was little, my grandfather would take me to the park, and he'd just stand there and smoke cigarettes. He drank,
Right.
and I would stand next to him watching other boys play with their dads. You know, and there was this emptiness.
Yes.
I didn't realize at the time. You know, I didn't really. Obviously, at that age, you really, you know,
Right.
making up, you know, or formulating any ideas, you know, is kind of difficult. But that I had anxiety and insecurities, emotionally, just very timid, introverted, and seeking validation, you know.
Right.
And seeking validation from a father figure with those father figures who did not talk.
Yeah.
You know, there was no emotional connection. It's,
Right.
you know, listen, put some tape on that and keep
Yeah,
on
keep
moving,
it moving.
right?
Yep.
Keep it moving. So, yeah, it was just a different time, you know, and look, I was not an overachiever by any means. I'm not somebody that went to school and like got straight A's. Like
Right.
I was to the street, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just, you know, I luckily picked up playing the trumpet. I did pretty well at that. My mom would show up to all my little concerts, and you know, that was really nice. And my mom worked for Eastern Airlines, so I got to travel around the world.
Oh, wow.
So as a young kid, I didn't understand what poverty was or where we were in society, because when I would go to like Latin America, Central America, as a little baby or as a young kid or as a teenager, I saw poverty.
You saw poverty for sure.
Like,
for sure.
you know, little kids walking around with babies on their backs, you know, like asking for money, you know what I'm saying? And barefoot.
No shoes.
Yeah.
for
So,
sure.
you know, I didn't, you know, to me, I grew up, you know, I wanted something, my mom bought it, you know, and that's what it was. And really killed herself to do it.
Yeah.
I think that things got away from me when the disciplining became more than discipline. Now, I think for many years I was ashamed or felt guilt saying that it was abuse, but it was physical abuse.
Bro, we used to get bro. They would call the police nowadays.
100%.
My goodness. Yeah. I mean, what happened now today? If what happened back then happened today,
Oh, forget about it.
CPS.
we'd be you know.
How about people are to the jail?
Yeah.
And the thing is, it was the parents would tell them, like you said, the teachers beat them.
Yep.
They used to have paddles in school back in our day. Paddles.
Yeah.
Used to get hit, bro. Like these young cats don't know about that, fam. Like it's a different. And I like what you said. Just to go back, and you said you didn't know what poverty was until you saw poverty.
Yeah.
Even though you were if the way that society you were.
We were living.
Yeah.
Kidding me?
And the same thing happened, you know, growing up in New York.
Right in the Bronx. Yeah.
But when I went to Puerto Rico, my dude, and saw my cousins chasing roosters around barefoot, living in a concrete block house with a tin roof and a sheet to cover the door.
Yeah.
Going to the bathroom in a bucket. I said, man, New York ain't that bad. So I understand when you said that, my brother. I understand.
You know, and the other thing that just really rung true for me, man, is, you know, when you said he did the best he could with what he knew, and you know that's the same story for all of us, man. I mean, we're doing the best we can, whether it's in relationships or with our kids, with what we know, man. I mean, we could only be true to who we are. So even as dads today, you know, and we've come so far, we still make mistakes, man. You know, and you know, when we talking to young brothers that are out there, listen, there's no magic bullet to being a dad. There's no magic bullet to being successful. There's no magic bullet to being grinding. But all of those experiences, man, made you who you are today. You know, back then you were going through it and you're like, okay, well, whatever. But look at where you are right now, man. Happily married. You know, successful.
And what's cool is at least God gave you somebody to look up to, somebody to take you to the park, you know what I mean? You could look at it
It's true.
that way, you know what I mean? I mean, there's like cats that didn't have the grandfathers, their fathers. And another thing I want to make a point before we continue is you did what you've done at least, this stage in your life. And I want people to really understand this and really get it without a father in your life. So that excuse of, I didn't have a dad, you didn't use that as an excuse, at least, maybe you have, because I know I've used that in my life at certain stages, but look where it got you, my brother.
Listen, I certainly used the excuse till that excuse didn't work.
Yeah.
Right?
That's good.
And it wasn't anything that I prided myself on. I just felt that it was a reality, and I felt that, I think that for a long time I felt like, man, God, man, why would you have done this to me? Like, why me? Why this? And all that, and really played this victim role to like a level where I was able to get away with whatever I wanted to because, well, what do you expect? This is, this is what it is, because of the hand that was dealt. Well, this is what I'm playing.
Right.
And so, but you're right. Look, today definitely it's a whole different life, and the experiences, right? We have experiences. Life is based off of all sorts of experiences, right? Whether they're spiritual in nature, whether they're emotional, mental, experiences, they're all an experience. And really how we perceive these experiences is really where you're going to go.
Absolutely.
Right? Time is linear, and time moves forward, right? And, how it is that we plan for what we're going to do next based off of those experiences is the only thing that matters.
Yep.
Yeah. I got a question, man, because growing up without a father, right? I can certainly relate to that. And did you find that you were able to manipulate your mom? Like me, I grew up without a dad, right? And I grew up with two sisters, the only boy in the house and all this stuff. So I got away with so much because I knew how to I learned how to become a manipulator really early because I didn't have that dad. So some of that discipline that I mean, trust me, I still got it. I still got the wires and the broomsticks and the chancletas, and I've still, but I didn't have the dad to be like, yo, sit down.
Right.
Did you find that you found yourself sort of becoming this master manipulator and being able to manipulate different situations to your favor?
It's my trademark. It's how I moved. It's how I moved. I wasn't gonna get anything accomplished if I didn't manipulate.
Keep it real here at the Father's Podcast. Keep it real.
The reality is that in order for me to achieve anything I desired, everybody knew that I was full of shit. They knew it. So my manipulation had to become even better and better and better. You know what I'm saying? Like better and better and better. Like I developed the craft in such a way that I'd bullshit myself, and be like
100%, bro.
Be like,
let's keep it real.
So manipulation. I mean, it's what it is. I mean, look, and I'll be honest with you. It's still a tool that I utilize today. Definitely in a different way.
Absolutely.
But I think that word, it just has such a negative connotation.
Yep, 100%.
There are ways to manipulate situations that need to be dealt with in that manner. And look, I have kids now, and they try to pull it on me. Now, look, they try.
Right.
I've been there, done that. Bobby, it's not gonna happen like that. Okay. Right. I'm the fuck done. But I can respect it, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And in business, in just,
life, man.
It's just life. It's just part of life, and you can't really get away from it. It's really, how to use it as a tool that's a constructive, positive tool. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it.
Right. That doesn't hurt somebody. Right. Because when we did it, growing up, oh yeah, it hurt. Whether it was chicks, whether it was people, we used it as a way
absolutely.
To hurt people. But in business, it's not about hurting someone necessarily, but it's about my product, or it's about getting going here.
I think both of you guys will agree, and Joaquin, we said this earlier before we started. Like, it's easy to tell the truth.
Yeah.
And it's easy to sell something that you believe in.
Right.
So you could speak about Mastermind Care all day because you believe in it, you live it, this is what you do, bro. So it's real cool to be able to take the tools that you're given,
Right.
and to use. I mean, bro, what was it? Who said it? I forgot. It was another person said this. I heard this recently, and I've heard it in the past. A pen could either write the most beautiful poem, or you could stab somebody in the neck with it, right? I mean, you could use the same thing. It's what are you going to use it for?
The tool, yeah.
And you found a way to use it to where you're helping people.
That's right.
I'm sure in your business, you said it, you're getting guys off the street that have nothing. You're getting the bottom barrel. You're getting guys that are coming in that they burnt every bridge. The mom doesn't want to help. When you go where your mom don't want to help you, bro,
Yeah.
tú bajaste, bro.
That's it. Yeah.
You're somewhere where
That's the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, you're
100%.
bottom. So you're getting these guys and you're helping them, and I'm assuming it's not easy to not only get them there but keep them there, right? So the fact that, again, everything, I always say this, bro. People always say everything happens for a reason when it's convenient for them. That just is what it is. Even the bad things, it's what you have to go through, right? You not having a father, do you think that added to, you said in the 90s that when you started your journey in that addiction side, did that push you to that, or like you said, you were kind of like using that to be the victim, or?
It's funny. Everybody that we encounter is always trying to get to the bottom of it, right?
Yeah.
I need to know what happened, and if I just figure this out, then everything will be fine. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's not it. I can, of course, pinpoint there are definitely some traumas,
Right.
experiences that pushed me along the way, for sure. When we look at what that word manipulation is, really the center of that is selfishness, right?
Right.
It's for me. Even when it's positive, I'm trying to sell you something for the
me,
business.
right.
It's for to prosper and to.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it's all about self. And when I was 13, after I had already been drinking as a little kid, sneaking away,
Right.
The parents got it,
Right.
in the cupboard, and I know what to do, like I see it, every time it's Christmas, it's New Year's, it's birthdays, Flag Day, President Day, it doesn't matter. We're gonna party. It doesn't matter. We're super Spanish. So, I saw that, and my mom would be like, "Oh, here's a Baileys, and here's a Kahlua, cute, whatever." So I had some experience already with catching Noda, So I, the age of 13, everybody's got. I mean, I'm gonna say the majority of everybody has tried smoking weed, right? Well, my story is, I had a little homie, Ramses, that he didn't come to school. I get off my bus, and there he was sitting there on the porch. And I'm like, Ramses, bro, what you doing, man? And he was like, "Man, I'm just chilling, dog."
Now, how old is he? How old are you guys?
We were 13. Just ninth grade.
Right.
And I just walk off, And I couldn't stop thinking about how cool he looked,
Right.
Anyway, next day, I get off my bus again. There's Ramses. He didn't go to school. I walk up. I'm like, "Ramses, bro, what's up, dog? What are you doing?" And he's like, "Chilling, G." And I was like, "Damn, that's cool." And whatever.
You at school all day, he's
Boy,
chilling.
this is cool, boy. This is cool, boy. Like, I'm just chilling, man. I'm doing me, Anyway, I couldn't stop thinking about him, And
Right.
the third day, I had like a whole I kept running scenarios, I'm gonna step to him, because I know he's gonna be there now, And anyway, I stepped, and mind you, remember that we're talking about this is the war against drugs era, right? Like Ronald Reagan, Nancy Reagan, So anyway, I get on my bus. I'm like, "Ramses, bro, what's up, bro? What are you doing, dog?" And he was like, "Smoking weed, dog." In a flash, it felt like 5 minutes, remember the commercial with the pan, the frying pan, the egg?
Your brain.
This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Right.
Thought about that. I thought about the dare cop that came to the school, and he was like,
About that,
if you do drugs, you're gonna end up on the street, whatever.
Right.
But I'm
Say
looking
no.
at my boy though. My
Say
boy was
no.
cool, bro.
Yeah, he was chilling, man.
He was chilling, dog. So I was like, dude, I want to smoke. And he was like, oh, okay. So whatever. He rolled up a little joint, went to the back of his house. I smoked my first little joint. Listen, I felt like I had arrived to life at that moment. I felt this feeling that I was free. Everything was hilarious.
Right.
Went in his house, broke out into a laugh attack. I threw up. He tried me. She was like, yo, you gotta go home. I go home. My grandmother had the café con leche with the crackers.
Right.
Go meet that.
And it tasted the best I've ever tasted.
Yeah.
And I slept like a baby, dude.
Right.
And that day was like the hallmark. That was like an imprint of what was to come. I just became addicted to that feeling of like, aside from the euphoria, like the escape.
Yeah.
There's no pain, there's no nothing. You don't gotta think about nothing, Bobby.
Right.
Now you're safe. Like that's what it felt like.
Right.
And things escalated fairly quickly for me. Again, here's where I would use the excuse. I didn't have anybody to be like, hey, listen, son, you look high, and you can't do that.
Right.
I got away with it.
Right.
I sneaked past my mom. They didn't know back then. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, that drugs weren't like that. You know what I'm saying? And in the Spanish community, like, it really wasn't like that. Unless you were, like, selling drugs.
Yeah.
We came from a little wholesome, little tiny little family,
And here, over here in Little Havana, where you grew up, because I don't know if it's a Spanish thing or if it's a New York or like in my day, if you smoked weed, that was like Tecato shit. Like you were like doing heroin. Oh my God, just like bro, it was like literally the word Tecato's junkie.
Right.
Yeah,
If you got caught smoking weed, you were
called a
freaking
junkie.
bro.
Yeah, 100%.
Like it was serious.
Yeah.
Is that the way it was over here as well? Like
Yeah, it was the same thing. And, imagine Miami, we had just gone through the whole marimbero, the whole, the cocaine cowboy,
that's right.
like all of
Right.
that.
That
So like
Right.
really negative connotation to drugs. But being able to manipulate, my grandfather, this before the lottery, my grandfather was the one that ran the numbers on our block. And he would take me from house to house picking up la bolita, and
Right.
picking up the slips and whatnot. And so Ramses one day, he was up. Like, we have not been smoking for like 4 months. Every day smoking a joint, going
Right.
home, 18, night rider, different strokes, café con leche the whole day. And so 4 months down the road, Ramses is wide awake, dude. Like, he's up, waiting for me, And I'm like, Ramses, what's up? And he's like, hey, listen, man, we're going to go hang with a bunch of guys, man. They're all hanging out, man. They're super cool, man. They're gonna be
I already know where he's going with
And
this.
I'm like, oh, man. Now, where I grew up, we had Latin Kings, Latin Force, Side by Side, Wilos, Folk Nation, all these gangs, right? I'm a little introverted band nerd.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't leave past his house.
Right.
And if I did, my grandfather was gonna whoop my ass. You know what I'm saying? So when he said that, like, as much as I wanted to say no, I couldn't.
Right.
It was like I felt powerlessness for the first time. The inability to speak, took over, and
Right.
I just said yes. I went and we went to the gas station, and there was like 5 guys. They had cars, they were taller, and they were passing brown joints,
Yeah.
My first time I smoked a blunt.
Yeah.
And it's one after another, and nobody said, "Hi, how are you? My name's, Jim." It wasn't nothing like that, It was super hood, And it was bam, 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 bam.
No introductions, man. Here's your introduction.
Here you go. I walked up on a session, you know what I'm saying? Bam, 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 bam. And I'm getting tore up.
Right.
And my heart was really pounding in my chest, And I'm looking around and they're talking and I'm looking at everybody's face and nobody's looking at me. And I really wanted to say something, but I got caught him out. I'm looking at my boy. My boy ain't looking at me. And my heart's really, really, I can't even feel the floor anymore.
Right.
And I feel like my eyes, cross me and everything. And then it's over. And I'm like, Ramses, bro, what are we gonna do? And he's like, Bobby, you gotta go home.
That's
I'm
it.
like, oh, are you nuts? I can't go home like this.
Right.
There was no dinner that night. There was no nothing. I was just pacing. Anyway, I get home. I get to school the next day, and I can't stop thinking about Ramses. I get off my bus the next day, and I'm like, Ramses, man, yesterday was amazing. My perception of things was way skewed.
No, sure, of course,
I didn't get it,
Right.
I didn't see the danger. I didn't understand, and I'm like, what was that? And he was like,
So you really didn't even know what you were smoking.
Yeah, you didn't know.
You just
I
thought
had
it
no
was.
idea. I thought I was safe, Listen, I was intimidated, and I was a yes man at that point. I didn't know, and scared, So I just kind of did what I was told, But he said we were smoking geeks in Miami. That was, it was weed with crack,
Oh shit.
And there were 7 of those, blunts, so.
Going around.
And that was the first time. And I thought to myself,
What do they call it? What do they call it?
Geeks. Geek. Yeah. And I'm like, that's crack? Crack's amazing, dude.
This guy's crazy.
If that's what crack is, that was great,
He's like, that's not.
Listen,
not what I heard about it.
Listen, there's a reason why these people chase it the way they do, dude. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, dude, that's crack, bro. That's amazing, bro. These people had cars. They're not homeless. They're good. So Ramses, we're going to need to get some crack. And he's like, oh, man, listen, bro. We got to chill. And I'm like, no. What's up? How do we do that? And again, green. Super green. I'm green, bro.
Right.
And he's like, well, listen, we're going to need money for that. And I'm like, well, how much? What do we need? He's like, man, listen, chill. I'm like, I'll be right back. Well, I knew where my grandfather had the stash because of the numbers, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I went up, I got a $100 bill. I come back and I wait, can we buy crack with $100? And he's like,
Hell yeah.
yep.
You bet.
Listen, we take the bus to 27 Unity Boulevard to the Pork and Beans, and this guy off his bike was like, what do you want? And I'm like, we're just looking for some crack.
Oh, that's hilarious, bro. Wow.
Listen, let me tell you that.
Yeah, you're 13, 14 years old. You're legit, yeah.
Again, naive.
Right,
Naive.
right.
I don't get it. And he was like, so how are you going to smoke that? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I need to buy some weed, too. And he was like, oh, no, you don't do that. He pulls out his crack pipe, It's here, you can have it. Give him $100. I mean, he definitely scammed me.
Sure, he was.
He definitely scammed me. But anyway, and dude, age of 13, I full blown crackhead. That was my routine every day. I got introduced to rehabs and institutions, a couple months after that, and just was in a tailspin, throughout my life, just really. Trying to find easier, softer ways to land from, all the stuff that I got myself in.
Right.
Had some successes with my music stuff. I did the trumpet thing and all that. And I used to dance and all that. And so things that I was passionate about, like I would kind of pay attention to. But when you're a crackhead, you don't really.
Yeah.
How long did that last from? Well, real quick, from when you started smoking trees to smoking crack, and obviously they put the crack in the trees. How long was it?
That was a really brief stint. That went hard for about 4 months until I went to the first rehab. went to that rehab, met kids that were already troubled, that had already
So
been in jail.
are you a believer when they say weed is a gateway drug then?
Oh, 1,000%.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, of course.
Because some people will say, a lot of people say that, but then you have other people that say, well, I smoked weed and I never did that.
Right.
I mean,
But that's true. That doesn't mean that it's not true for other people.
Other people.
Right.
It's like if I introduce you to sushi and you're like, oh no, I don't like sushi, and I'm like, no, but trust me, you'll like this roll,
Yeah.
right? And you try and you'll be like, oh well, then
I
that's
actually
okay.
do like that.
Now I'm gonna try to, try this one,
Right.
And I'll try this one, and you
Right.
just keep. And listen, food is one of those things that it's just like drugs. Who's gonna open a bag of Doritos and just eat one? You know what I'm saying?
But I just like that you're being honest with that, because I think a lot of people that haven't gone to that next level will be really quick to say it's not a gateway drug.
Yeah.
So
You know what I
listen,
mean?
I think that the perfect storm has to happen. I don't believe that everybody that encounters hardcore drugs is a drug addict. I think that it's definitely a personal decision.
Yeah.
I can say yes, I am a drug addict. I'm an alcoholic. I'm somebody that the second I put any sort of substance, whether that's drugs, women, money, I don't know how to deal with life, period.
Right.
So whatever it is that can help me escape from the reality,
Sure.
that's what I'm gonna abuse. I just happen to like hardcore drugs, you know what I mean?
Right.
And, midgets, salad dressing, and trombones, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going in, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, I did the whole crack thing till about the age of 24, and I tried to get sober. I got sober. I had a mentor. I had somebody that came into my life that was everything I wanted to be. This guy was clean cut, in shape. The way he spoke just
Right.
carried so much weight. Successful, he had a Mercedes, like everything was like, and I was like, man, and I'm sitting there like, cocaine psychosis. I used to braid my hair, and when you smoke crack, you're not braiding your hair, so like I'd have like half a head braided, I had been going to jail like once a month. At this point, I had probably been to jail, I don't know, 26 times, 30 times, something like that. And this guy who came into my life was like, I'll help you, man. You're just gonna have to wake up, and we'll go from there, He'd come to my house in the morning, and in the beginning, bad shape. Like when you smoke crack, like you really lose touch with reality. Like taking showers, regular shit. Like
Right.
Taking showers, brushing teeth, combing hair,
Right.
changing, all that kind of stuff. Like what
Basic.
you just the basics, right? Like the fundamentals, dude. Like you don't do, right? So he'd come to my house and be like, yeah, so you're gonna put that on, you're gonna put this on, put these on, and put this on, and we gotta do something about your fucking hair,
Right.
And we're gonna shave too, and all that stuff. And he started taking me with him to work, and I just saw the way he moved, and within 3 years, I had a little investment company, nothing major. It was in the boom of the flipping houses. He taught me how to flip houses,
Nice.
and 3 years, I had a little success. I had a house, car. I was independent. I was alone. My mother had passed away from cancer in '97, and my grandfather and grandmother were taken away from me because of the addiction, right? So
Right.
I was basically independent, and then I met the woman who's my wife today. I met the woman of my dreams.
Right.
It was a blind date, and it's a miracle that this person, this is where the manipulation comes in. It's a miracle that this person would even look at me, right? So I had to put on the salesman pitch, right? I
Right.
had to use this, and I believe that it was for the good, right? 'Cause
Right.
this is the best person on the planet, for
That
me,
elevator
right?
pitch kicked in. He's like, I got my elevator pitch.
This is where it's at, and one of the things that she admired about that moment was we met at a bar, at a club bar, and I didn't drink. And she was like, why?
Yeah.
And I'm like, long story, but, I just don't need it, And
Right.
she was like, dude, but everybody else is drinking. I'm like, yeah, I don't have to. I'm good.
Right.
And, she had a couple drinks, and we just had we like got to chop it up, and it was really nice. And it was cordial. It was like, chivalry, like everything
Yeah.
that,
Gentlemen.
has been lost.
Yeah.
It was that, because in those 3 years I had learned the fundamentals again. I really tried to study what this guy was doing and,
Right.
and how he moved like that, and that was one of those things. How he carried himself, how he dealt with his emotions, his character defects,
Right.
and how he was able to call himself out, if he had to, when he made mistakes, and that's not something that we do.
No. I got a question. I want to double click on something, right? You mentioned the mentor, right? And there's a lot of brothers out there that just don't understand the importance of having that mentor, man. And the reality is that some of us need more than one, right? We need a mentor for this, we need a mentor for that. But you got this mentor that said you're gonna have to wake up. And you saw the need. Something inside you said, I want that. I want that. And can you talk to us a little bit about that? Because there's people out there right now, there's young brothers that think that, man, I don't need nobody. I can do it on my own, man. Tell us about the importance of having a mentor in your life.
Well, first, when the pain gets great enough, for me, pain is the best motivator. Unfortunately, you don't ask for help until your ass is on fire, right? And which is dumb, right? Like, why would you wait? You know what I'm saying? But that's just a reality. I have today, I don't know, my network is so strong, and I have such a big support group that I probably have, 20 different,
Right.
it's not that they're top level in business respect.
Sure.
Spiritual.
Yeah.
Spiritually speaking, these are men of faith, of courage, men of strength in belief, and in their values and just, look, mentorship, being supportive, just being there, what that to me, and early in the podcast you said, what I wanted to talk about was service, and I alluded to self when we were talking about manipulation. It's time. The one thing that we don't give is time.
Right.
And we just, and it's so short, yet when we have it, we don't appreciate it. We don't embrace it, right? We're not really in it because we're looking to the future, right?
Yeah.
And so for this man to have given me his time, that comes from a place of love, right? Absolutely. And I don't know if it was that he loved me. He didn't even know me.
Right. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't even know me, bro.
But he saw something in you.
Listen, I don't know that he saw something in me. Yeah. I believe that he was so sick at one point that in order for him to get through what he went through, he had to, instead of be selfish, had to be selfless,
Yeah,
right?
That's great, bro.
And, I strongly believe in mentorship. I strongly believe in...
Yeah, but one thing I want to say is that, like Jesse's saying, it's great for him to take the time. I'm a big believer, and I think you guys will all agree with this, especially from where we're from, right? All of us, whether it's New York or Florida, we're from that place, right? Time is money. Time is not money. Time is priceless. Yeah. You can't buy it. is priceless. And I hate the fact that that's embedded in us as young, people from where we're from, especially in the Latino and Black communities, bro.
Right.
Time is money. Time is money. Bro, it's not. It's priceless. And for that man to give you that time, that's great, bro. But one thing is, he can, again, God can open the door. You got to walk through it. You took it upon yourself to say, like you said, like, bro, I need this. You know what I mean? A lot of young brothers, bro, grown men. And even, one of our co-hosts, Chris, had mentioned this when we were like, yeah, we want to impact. He's like, bro, there's people in the 40s, 50s that need this, 60s that need it.
We get them. They come in.
They all, right? And I'm sure
right
even,
now.
right? Like, viejos. And you're like, papi, you estás muy viejo. You're too old for this.
Yeah.
But they still going through it.
Right.
So it takes, obviously, he's still there for you to have said, and we just don't do that. You said it a second. We just don't, as men, especially just, that machismo in us.
Yeah.
We just don't. So I just want to applaud you for, and just people to understand that it takes two to tango, right?
Yeah.
It's a, what'd you say, a perfect
Storm.
Perfect storm. You know what I mean? Like, the guy wants to help, you're willing to take the help.
That's where I was gonna go next. The willingness, really. We as men feel like, I got this.
Yeah.
100%.
My pride and my ego is my default setting. That's where I go.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
I got this. Relax. I got this. When I ain't got shit.
Yeah.
I ain't got motherfucking
Right.
So, I was at a place where I was finally ready, willing, able, and then had to make a decision. A lot of us sit there with a lot of opportunities and a lot of plans and a lot of ideas, but never make the decision.
Absolutely.
Right? You never pull the trigger.
Right.
And it's just a wish.
Yep.
It's not anything else. I later had these other great men, buddy of mine, Bill, who's really going through a tough time right now. Fast forward, I'm married, kids, living an amazing life, but bickering, and my wife, and listen, I can have God all day long. I'm human, bro. And we crash, bro. We crash out all the time,
Yeah.
And I'm going in on my wife. I'm like, man, I'm telling Bill, oh man, my wife this and da da da, and she's blah 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 whatever, and he just let me shit in his ear for a little bit, and he looked at me and he goes, hey man, let me ask you a question, man. Would you die for her? Well, that pumped the brakes so fast.
100%.
Wait.
100%.
Hold on, bro. I'm not talking about all that. But I am.
Right.
See, when I put it that way, what you're talking about ain't shit.
Ain't nothing.
Right.
That's great.
And then he asked me, would you die for her every day? My perception, how I see things, right, is really the only thing that matters. I base my perception on these experiences, my social. Right. I grew up in the rap culture, hip hop, shake that ass,
Right.
and smoke weed, so I'm motivated by what's flashy and what's pretty, and look at the car, and look at the watch, and Rick Ross, and hustling, all that type of stuff. So my perception is that's success.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely, I have a major ego. I'm very prideful. And every time I have a problem with those things, God will check me.
Right.
I've had great success, and I've had crazy losses. Crazy losses. From a house on 2 acres and 7 cars and a whole bunch of stuff that you can be like, oh my God, he's got living the dream. At that time, wanting to kill myself.
Right.
And losing it all and starting from zero and being the happiest guy riding a bicycle.
Right.
Literally.
That's crazy, yeah, bro.
Literally. Riding a bicycle, putting things in perspective, man, like what is success? We put our values sometimes in the wrong place, and success today is that I'm able to come home, not hide or tiptoe in the house, not shun anyone, answer questions, to my kids, kids got questions, and be just like a part of the family, you know what I'm saying? Like we eat together, like we are a unit, you know what I'm saying? And that's where I find my success. Now, at the center, what I teach is a lot of basic life skills. It's all the stuff that I've been picking up, throughout all these years and through my experience. I'm not trained in any way. I only have backing me experience, right?
Right.
My experience. I'm only telling people the truth. Now, of course, at our center we have the doctors, the therapists, all the trained professionals, and they do all the heavy lifting. I'm really only there with this idea that you can, and I'm trying to give people hope. Let me tell you, if I can do it, there ain't no reason why you can't. I'm one of these stories, man, that I really should be locked up. I have stories that would make you cringe, and if I really would have got what I deserved,
Right.
But for the grace of God, there go I. Look, I'm somebody that's just I'm grateful to be alive. I'm one of these guys. I'm looking to the sky all the time. Like.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing that obviously me knowing you for this time, and not having seeing you again improve, right? And you going from having a mentor, being, no disrespect, obviously a fucking crackhead, right? Like a crackhead.
That's exactly what it is.
It's like
that's what it is.
To having a mentor, you're seeing, man, I want to emulate that. I want to.
Right.
Has a Mercedes. He has a. What do you drive right now?
Oh, I have a Mercedes.
Praise God. I mean, it's just and it's not a materialistic thing.
Sure,
it's just something that what we see in the rap culture, in the urban culture, in the hip hop stuff. That's success. It really isn't. That's not the success, but it's being able to achieve something that you thought was unachievable. And I'm sure when you sit in that car, you probably every day like, bro, am I really? I know you do it in your car. I do it. It's like, wow, is this real, bro? And I was speaking to somebody earlier, and I asked him. He's a very successful man, and I said, "Do you wake up? When you wake up, how do you feel?" It's like I wake up like I'm just like me, like I always talk about. I'm broke. Doesn't matter what and he's if I'm here, he's finance wise, but it's the same mentality. Doesn't matter what level you are. There's an equation to success. There's an equation to. You said something a couple weeks ago in the episode that I've been using it and stole it from you. Like, and maybe you'll use this when you're speaking to somebody. Jesse said, even if you don't know what you want to do, know what you don't want to do. And I said, my brother, that is great, bro. Know what you don't want to do. I don't want to be a crackhead. I don't want to be broke. You know what I mean? Right. I don't want to be a guy that has kids and is not a father to those kids.
Right.
Know those things, and then you can work on the other stuff. You know what I mean? And I thought that was amazing when you said that, brother. Stuck with me. You know what I mean? You're to go from being the guy that needs help to now the guy that's helping
so many people, man.
You know what I mean? It's just, brother. And again, I've been to his facility years ago. To know that you've grown from then to where you are now, I mean, it's just been amazing, brother. And I just hope that anybody watching this that needs help, if you need help, we're gonna put all your information obviously at the bottom. Please reach out to this man, him and his wife, to the Hall Mastermind Care crew, because there's a lot of people out there. We were gonna do some episodes on addiction. Maybe you can come back and help us with those.
I'd love to.
Because I think addiction, and you had said this earlier, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, whether it's mental health,
women.
There's so many forms of addiction with men, porn, you know, women, right? Like money, the cars, there's just so many addictions that, and I don't want to say that it's worse for men. You know what I mean? Because I think, you know, human beings, we have our own, but men, like, we just, we're given Hot Wheels as kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we want that shiny Corvette. We want that shiny truck. We want that. It's like we're given these things, bud, and I think that stays with us, man. And we think success is getting these things. It's really not, bro. It's like you said, when you can go home to your family and you could have a conversation. Yeah. You can go home to your family and talk to your kids with clear eyes. You know what I mean? You know, we play ball, right? We play a lot of ball, and I tell those young cats, don't get your W's here. Get your W's at home, get your W's in your career, get your W's at the house with the family. So it's amazing, my brother, that you can go from where you've gone from. And bro, that's, not everybody could say they were a crackhead on the streets to being in a rehab. I mean, if you do the percentages, I'm sure not that many people are that they've gone through this, but that's pretty cool, my brother. And I'm a big person on, if you can do it, I can do it.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think everybody needs to hear that and listen to that. Like, don't limit yourself to what you think you can do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, I might not, you know, and again, I mean, there's certain things you're not going to do, right? Like, if you're not tall and you can't dunk, maybe you should get that off your thing.
The heat ain't calling.
Yeah. You're not calling you, brother. Right. So do realistic, pick realistic goals that you can do.
But I think, you know, I just want to jump in real quick, because you have to pick those goals, but before you can even have those goals, you have to get rid of something that you talked about, which is that pride.
Yeah.
As brothers, as men, cats that are watching this right now, that pride will destroy you. And when I listen to Joaquin, I'm hearing ego, right? And I heard somebody say, you know, ego stands for edging God out, right? Mm-hmm. But, you know, it's when we have that pride, we don't want to hear nothing. Yeah. When we have that pride, our wives, our women, our boys, our moms, nobody can talk to us. No. You know, and what I hear from you, man, is that it took you to get to a place where pride wasn't even an option. What I got to be proud about? You got to get to that place.
One thing that you said that was amazing, brother, is that you said you didn't deserve it. That's big, bro. Yeah. That's big, man. Yeah. And for you to just be that humble to be like, bro, like, but again, you know, that's why you got the blessings you've gotten, because God knew, like, yo, this dude,
you can trust him.
Like, I'm gonna give him this grace. I'm gonna give him this. You know what I mean? Like, that's big to me, bro. When you said that,
I'm gonna tell you where it all happened. Right? I wish I could say that, you know, that time with that mentor was the last time I ever used drugs. No, I had a bad relapse and really dragged my family through the mud and the whole thing, and lost everything else. And last time I went to jail, second DUI. They revoked the bond on the first one, so now I'm gonna do some time.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to jail, right? And then they send me over to Conti, you know, near Broward County, and I go to the cell where I'm gonna be for a little bit, right? And the houseman guy comes up, and you know, it's the question, right? So what are you here for? That's the question. That's your time to shine, bro. Like, you can be whoever you want.
Yep.
Right.
And what came out of my mouth was, man, I'm here because I'm an alcoholic, bro. That's why I'm here. And he said, no shit. I've been sober for 13 years, thanks to the program of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 steps, and not what I was expecting. Right?
You're here too?
And he, you know, and he was like, yeah, I'm here for a suspended license. You know, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Anyway, I jump on my top bunk, you know, and this black dude across from me, he was reading the Bible, and he's like, hey, so do you believe in the Bible? And I'm like, yep. I got off my bunk, I got on my knees. I said, God, if you get, now listen, I've done that one like a lot. Like, like I've done that prayer. Like,
That's
a
my
lot.
go-to right there. I know that one.
I've
Yeah.
done that one a lot. I said, God, listen, man, if you get me out of this one, I promise I'm going to serve you the rest of my life. And, that's my inventory, man. When I look back on my day and I reflect, did I offend anybody? Did I try to screw anybody? Was I there the way that people needed me to be there? Was I a servant today? Did I achieve what I wanted to achieve today? I'm definitely checking on. Listen, again, not every day is perfect. I talk back. I'm slick as and I say I say dumb stuff sometimes. But in reflecting, I'm able to always try to improve.
Right.
Live in the moment. All right, this is what it is. It's done. It passed. But let me learn from it today. Let me actually try to learn from it. So that tomorrow you just do a little better. You just gotta be a little better. And when I work with other people and I'm not looking at myself, I'm not worried about myself, and I'm not, and I'm worried more about you and how I'm gonna help you.
Right.
By the end of the day, I'm good. That's it.
Your spirit is good. You feel
I'm
good.
good, man. Like I'm clean, man. I'm in a place where I'm like fulfilled.
Yeah.
Listen, all the stuff is nice, and don't get it twisted. But I like the stuff.
Do you think you do the same thing? You had mentioned that your mentor, you had said before, do you think that he was helping you to maybe help him through his stuff?
Yeah.
So you're basically doing the same thing, but you've amplified it by having your own location and
Listen,
that's what you're doing.
We all have different directions that we take. It's not really about one man doing more than the other. It's really more like I just found my purpose, my particular purpose, my goal just became something else through that. Now, that guy who I love, Frankie, that's my guy, and he's, and he helps out a million people, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's everybody's got their own deal, you know what I'm saying? And for me, I found my lane, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my lane, man. I'm doing my thing, and as I trudge along this road, working with other people, dude, I got a slew of people that now help other people, and now help other people, and it's that trickle effect. You mentioned that it's not really like a lot of crackheads that have made it. No, there's plenty. There's a lot. And it's important that we give hope, man, that, no matter how far down the scale you've gone, oh no, you can always bounce back.
Right.
It's how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do?
Right.
Are you willing to wake up every single day and face your reality? Are you willing to, and sacrifice?
Absolutely.
Sacrifice is one of these things that we shy away from. Oh, because we want the easier, softer way.
Yeah.
We're looking to always cut corners and listen, again, I still do that. I still do that.
Right.
I'm just trying to be vigilant, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to be vigilant, I've been blessed, man. I've been blessed with so many different opportunities to just, again, be a servant. And today when God knocks on my door and says, bro, listen, I need your help. Like, I got to be ready. Like, I'm ready.
Right.
I'm ready for whatever he throws at me,
Right.
So, yeah, man. I'm a satisfied customer, man.
I like what you said. I like, that, if you are a crackhead and that's how deep you're going, that there are people that have came back from that. I just know that we've talked about this as well, that men in general, we don't talk to each other the way we should talk to each other. A lot of us don't help each other and give each other the keys to what made us successful. A lot of men hate on each other. Unfortunately, within our own cultures, we hate on each other, right? Especially, and I'm sure you've gotten this, at the secret que he thinks he's all that, because in his little Mercedes and his shoes, and But yeah, you just came from helping how many, like they just, it's that mentality of just the crabs in the bucket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's amazing, bro, that you're willing to open yourself up to tell the people that are watching and hearing, willing to tell their story. A lot of people are embarrassed by that, bro. They would be embarrassed by it. You're embracing it.
It's embarrassing.
You're well.
It is embarrassing
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Listen, I'm not telling the public store clerk that I'm a cracker.
No, but it's
Right.
it's embarrassing, but I'll put it this way. And I've said this to people and they love, like, I have a 2001 Toyota pickup. You've seen it. Piece of, you know what? Love driving it. When I'm driving it, it humbles me. You know, it's, you know, like I laugh at the way people look at me when I'm in it. They'll drive by me, the guy that has, you know, the people broke ass. I laugh, but it's different when you're in a car like that, knowing what you have at home waiting for you. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're driving it, but you know I got some. Wait till you see what I bring out. So what I mean by that is, it's like you're saying it now in the position you are, and that's the blessing of it, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like you're the position you're in to stay there, knowing that you admitted that you've even relapsed a couple times. And how long have you been clean, if you don't mind me asking?
I'll be celebrating 13 years this year.
Yo, man, that's
I mean, my brother,
brother to God, man. That's awesome.
that's, I mean, you know, and everything you've done and everything that you've been accomplished. And again, like, not keeping it to yourself, bro. I'm sure you could be home with your wife, your kids, you worked all day, and you come over here and you're telling your story, bro.
Yeah.
You know, we just have to as men, man, and that's the biggest thing with this podcast that we want to get through is tell people stories like yours. Give, I don't care if you're a crackhead, I don't care if you're an alcoholic, I don't care if you're a gang member, I don't care, you know, if it's never over. You know what I mean? Even the guy in jail that's reading the book and you know what I mean, reading the Bible and you know, like, bro, if you're not dead, you can do some stuff, man. If God gave you the opportunity to wake up every day and you can, like, I don't think people realize that you can really change your situation so quickly, like by changing your perception and having the willingness to put things aside, whether it's seek help from somebody. Like you said, we don't wait. We wait till we're in pain, till we get help. You know what I mean? Like, don't wait. You know what I mean?
So I'm sure there's some brothers out there right now, right, who may be like, yeah, easy for you to say, right? And there may be some men out there, maybe some young cats, man, but, you know, and they just need to have some hope. You know, what would you say to someone who's watching this right now who they feel you, but think, I don't know if I can get there.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone like that?
Well, so there are always options, right? You can wait to lose everything you have, you know, and that looks different for everybody. It doesn't always necessarily mean material-wise. You can lose self, you know, inspiration. You can just be okay with what you got. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do. Listen, we need all kinds of people in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's fine.
Absolutely.
But if you're someone who is stuck in life where, you know, kind of just give up, I'll tell you that life definitely can be better. It can always be better. You don't have to sit in the guilt, shame, remorse, resentment of the past. You don't have to you don't have to live with regret because you didn't do what you thought you were going to do in life.
Right.
You said it. There's so many possibilities in life, and it's limitless. But it all is down to: are you brave? Do you have courage to endure the sacrifice that it takes because nobody's going to knock on your door to offer you $1 million to get on your feet? Does it, you know, are you ready to face those haters that are gonna tell you your dreams will come on, Bobby. You're never
Right.
gonna be nothing, Bobby. You're nothing but a crackhead, bro. Come on,
Right.
you know that's pie in the sky. You know, are you ready for all those things? Because listen, it takes determination. It does take. Listen, it is not easy by any means, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier than having to look at yourself in the mirror every day with disgust, with hurt, pain. You know, it's way easier than that. You know?
Wow.
To get your ass up every day and brush your teeth and get out there and go tackle the world. Oh, no. It's a lot easier, for sure. You know? Here's where I think it all starts. I think it all starts with, you have to love yourself. Find the way to love yourself. Bring that love home, man. If you are home, you're home base. If you don't love yourself, how are you going to love anybody else?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And in loving yourself, you can now give of yourself, which means giving love, right? And that right there, I think, is that's the catalyst of it all, man. You know, if you can find, look, it's hard to define God. People have been trying to do this for thousands of years, right?
Right.
But I think that we can define love pretty easily, right? You've seen it, you know it,
Right.
you know, you felt it, good and bad, right?
Right.
You know, love is very easy to define. We can spend, you do, I don't know, hundreds of podcasts on it, right?
Right.
Because you know what love is. That's not anything that you have to waver on, you know,
Right.
on what decision, you know. Love is something that you know, that you can believe in, that you can have faith in, that you can trust in, right? But it starts with you. What are you prepared to do with that love?
Wow. That's big, bro. That's big. I mean, I think that a lot of young cats are hopefully, or whoever, you know, again, you said you got the older gentleman coming to you still, right? Like all ages of life and colors. And I think everybody needs something, you know what I mean? I don't think there's obviously there's no perfect people in this world. I think that a lot of us suppress a lot of things, and we use not having a father to justify our actions. We do it even to this day. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, now I kind of catch myself quicker. Like, oh, come on, you stop doing that. You know what I mean? Like, you're better than that. But when you're young, and that, you know what I mean? You're trying to justify your actions, right? Like, human nature's, you know, taking over, and you don't. Nobody wants to be wrong. But I think that with having the conversation, again, there's no conversations. Communication is everything. Right. And you know, remember when Chris said a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "Yo, nobody ever did that." You know, when we had our thing, and I was like, "Yo, come here, my brother, let's talk." Like, we gonna, no people, we don't do this stuff, bro. Yeah. Especially again in the urban community, in the Latino and the Black community, we don't talk, bro. And that's one of the things that you know, when we came up with this Fathers podcast, is that we wanted to really, really push that the communication side of it, the love side of it, you know, we're here for you, bro. We don't want nothing from you. Right. You know what I mean? Right. But I do want to say there is opportunity in helping people and making a living. It's a beautiful thing, bro. Yeah. When you can do what you love and make money. You know what I mean? Money is not the root of everything. Materialistic stuff is nothing in comparison to your family. But you got to pay the bills. You got to put a roof over your kid's head. You have to provide, right? So to find something that you're passionate about, I'm sure you wake up going, you know, not that you're not going to have your bad days and the frustration or the overwhelming of it. As success grows, obviously, right, you get a lot of stuff. I'm sure you get called, Joaquin, you're like, por mi madre, right? And then you got to deal with the wife and the kids and this. It's a balance.
I can't imagine what my cell phone looks like right now.
Oh, bro, where the hell is he? He's usually, right? So it's just an amazing thing, my brother, for people to really see that, you know, it can be done. Yeah. It's not impossible. A young Latino from Little Havana, raised by a wonderful mother and grandfather that sat there smoking stoves and drinking in the park, was able to achieve what you've achieved, bro. And to have not only achieved, but continue to achieve and to grow the way you've grown. when you showed me the video of Mastermind Care, bro, to see where you were at, and then
Yeah, you saw it from you were there in the inception. You know what
I
I'm saying?
saw when you had it, brother, and to see you, and I haven't, it's been so many years since I've seen him, and to see him grow like that is just amazing, bro. Like, and it also shows proof. The proof is that's the proof.
Yeah.
You must be doing something right? So anybody that's attending your facilities, and again, you said you can't help everybody. And I think that even us as men, sometimes, I'm sure especially you, especially what you've done, you try to help somebody and they don't listen or they don't take it, and you kind of get like disappointed sometimes. I'm gonna stop talking to. We just can't. We have to stay strong. We have to know that being selfless. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think that we have to just continue to try, bro. And I'm big on not just complaining about it, but instead of complaining about it, let me be the difference, for at least, from my side, right? And the beauty of this show is to let people see a different side of, the guy that has tattoos and the guy that's driving the car, and maybe he's not a drug dealer, maybe he's, maybe he's not a gangster, maybe he's not, maybe he's a dude that helps people every freaking day and is just successful at it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just, you know what I mean? So, not, and we obviously in our professions, we always wear suits and we whatever. Bro, I know a lot of guys in suits that are just the worst individuals in the world. Your clothes does not make you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people love to clean the outside, but they forget about the inside. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah. So, we really
seen that, right?
I was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
You did that too.
You clean you clean yourself on the inside, you work on the outside later, bro. It's gonna come. It's just kind of like, if you're shooting for success, don't shoot for the money. Shoot for the success, and the money is gonna come with it. It's just part of success. And you said it earlier, and everybody has a job. The people that work in Walmart, the people that work at the dollar store, the people that, you know what I mean? I mean, everybody has a job. The biggest thing, and I tell my kids this, is, are you happy? That's the goal. Are you happy? If you're happy working at Walmart, you're happy with your check, and you ain't going home going, oh, I wish I had this, right? Then do something about it. But if you're happy, you already achieved what everybody's trying to achieve, bro. And I know you probably know people in a way better financial position that are unhappy. And you go, Konya, bro, I'm sure you get the bottom barrel, but I'm sure you get some guys that you go, bro, Bobby, you're loaded. What are you doing here? You know what I mean? So it's really not, there's no guarantee to being successful no matter where you're raised, whether you're raised in the hood or you're raised with a silver spoon in your mouth. It's all you, bro. It all starts from inside, bro.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, one of the things that I walk away from this show, and you said it at the end, and it has to. You said you can lose a lot of things. You said, but don't lose yourself.
That's big, bro.
I mean, when I heard that, that's powerful, right? Because, you've got to be careful with that, right? But you can't lose yourself. And I often say, listen, God wants you to have self-confidence, but he don't want you to have confidence in yourself, right? He wants you to have confidence in him, right? But you can't lose who you are. And I reference it back to, and this just sounds funny, but The Lion King, right? I remember that scene in The Lion King where, Simba's running through the woods trying to find his Mufasa, and he looks in the pond, and he says, that's not my father, that's me. And his father comes from out of the sky, and he says, remember who you are. Remember who you are. And inside of us, man, we just need to always remember who we really are. Not what the clothes say, not what the cars say, not what people say. Remember who you are. And if you can remember who you are, you will get up and you will act like who you are supposed to be, man. And so, not losing yourself was really powerful, man. I mean, everything you said was powerful, but that really struck home with me, like, don't lose yourself.
Well, I appreciate you coming through, my brother. We want to, I'm hoping you're going to come back to bless us, maybe come in with your wonderful wife.
Thank you.
We would love to have you there. Both of you guys being just very successful married people. This is the things that we want to show, our people that and we talked about this not too long ago, you can be raised without a father and still be a successful father. You can still not see a successful family, mother, father, but still be in a successful family with the mother and the father, raise kids. So maybe that's, later on we could talk about maybe you guys coming on and maybe even you guys with the wives, man.
Yeah.
Give us the sauce, bro. Give us the ingredients. You know what I mean? I know I need it. You know what I mean? I need it. You know what I'm saying? I would
that
love
could
it.
backfire because then they drop the tea and not the sauce. And
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, man, I appreciate you, Joaquin. We want to make sure that anybody watching this, obviously, if
Yeah.
you're having addiction problems, you're having any mental issues, any type of addictions, man, please reach out to this gentleman right here at Mastermind Care in Margate, Florida. We'll put all the details below. Check out his Instagram. What's your Instagram?
Mastermind Care, our TikTok, Mastermind Care, everything's
Okay, so everything Mastermind Care.
Yeah. You can
that's what's
you,
up.
listen. You Google it; it's there. We're there.
Awesome.
We're very easy to get in touch with. Mastermind is a 65-bed treatment center with all the luxuries that you would have at home. The idea is that we make you feel.
If you're lucky, you got those luxuries.
Well,
I saw your
listen,
spot, my
listen,
brother.
listen.
Ain't nobody.
Listen,
I want to go stay there.
It is definitely still
Beautiful,
humble.
bro. Beautiful location.
It is definitely still a humble place. It's nice. It's listen, you're gonna be treated like a human being. You're not a number.
Right.
To us, you are family, and our job is to love and support you back to health. We, alongside of the medical part, the therapeutic part, which is strong, evidence-based therapy. We treat PTSD. There's a lot of trauma. Trauma is something that, again, we don't talk a lot about as men. It's there, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of it. And anything can be traumatic. And so, getting into some of these problematic areas in your life is really our goal, and to help you walk through them and then educate you on how to cope with what you've experienced. So, we're in Fort Lauderdale, Margate area. Very easy. It's a seamless process. A lot of people are like, "Oh my God, it's gonna be like kumbaya."
Yeah.
But there ain't no kumbaya. It ain't that.
You're coming to work. You're gonna come to work.
Yeah. Listen, it's time to put in some time. That's all.
Yep. Oh, that's awesome,
good,
man. So yeah, we want everybody that's listening and watching to make sure that they check you out and get the best care they possibly can, and to know, man, if you and I'll say this before we finish up, but when you got locked up and the guy said, "Why are you here?" You said, "Because I'm an alcoholic." You didn't even give what you said. You realized, and I think that's the biggest thing is being accountable as a human being and knowing what your weaknesses are, and turning those weaknesses into something wonderful that can help somebody else, help yourself. So like you, Jay, when you said, don't lose yourself, that was the biggest thing. It's a lot of little stuff, man, but it's just being able to serve, man, is definitely something I want to do. I love that you said that from the get-go, bro. You had me from the moment you said that. I was like, hey, it's going to be a great freaking interview because we're just on the same path, bro. I heard recently, you said you've heard it. In Spanish, we say, dime con quien anda, te digo quien eres. Whoever you are.
Who you hang with, I'm
You are
who you are.
Yeah, you are who you hang out with. And the gentleman that came in during the week, he said, your network is your net worth. If you want to bring it to a business sense, which is amazing, you know what I mean? And just be careful, man. Look, you were hanging out with Ramses. See what?
By the way, so let me tell you about Ramses. So, unfortunately, Ramses isn't with us anymore, right?
Oh,
man.
He OD'd a couple of years back. Very traumatic. I had tried after I got sober for years, to try to get help, to get him help, and I moved him to be next to me, and like I said, it's not, you can't help everybody. It seems like it's so hard, man, to help those that are the closest to you sometimes.
Yeah.
right? Because, you know, it
Well,
really hurt. You know, it digs, man. It digs deep. But at the end of the day, you know, oh, I'm gonna help. I don't care who it is.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm here to help no matter what.
Right.
It's awesome, bro.
You know, because I don't ever want to be the wretch that I was.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard to help. I think it's hard to talk to somebody about something that like, well, if you're an addict and you have somebody that's never been in that position telling you, I think it's hard. So even
Yeah.
though you mentioned earlier you have all these doctors, you have all these therapists, you have no certificates, but I mean, the experience that you have is, you can't teach that. You
Yeah.
can have certificates all day, bro. But I know if I'm talking to you and you don't know where it's just I can't, you know what I mean?
It's that connection. It's tough. It's tough to make that connection when you don't have that same experience.
Yeah, my bro. I mean, you know, when we met so many years ago, bro,
Yeah.
we had the same foundation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where we came from. But that's what draws people together, bro. Is those shared experiences and being willing to just be that light, bro, for people that need it. I think it's just a wonderful thing, my brother. I'm extremely appreciative of you coming through.
Yeah, man, it's
I
amazing.
look forward to more conversations with you. I think there's really not enough time because I've heard a lot of stories from you, and I think that there's more to be said. So we'll do this like as a part one with Mr. Joaquin here.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'll say it again. I would love for you to come in with your wife, man, and really share your story together so that people can see what a relationship really is, the good, the bad, not just, oh, it's good, okay, I love you, it's bad, I mean, voy pa'l carajo. It's not a relationship, bro. That's not a friendship, that's not a relationship. So we look forward to hearing more from you, my brother.
100%, man.
Thank you guys for what you're doing, for real.
You know, so we thank you. Everybody listening in, Jesse, thank you for coming in this week and blessing us as well. We know you're a busy man. I got two incredible brothers here with me, man, and I'm just very appreciative of just you guys allowing me to speak with you guys. Bro, this is great, bro. I really, really appreciate it, man. It just brings just so much more conviction to things that I've said, man. And when I see you, bro, it's just like, wow, man, how we've changed over the last few years is just incredible. And how we've stayed the same to an extent. You know what I mean? Like, you're still Joaquin, you're still... You know what I mean? So I appreciate you, my brother. We appreciate everybody listening in and watching. Please check out again Mastermind Care, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Margate area. Check out his Instagram and his socials. Check out the Father's Podcast. We look forward to having you guys watch and tune in to more content. We're going to bring you just impactful conversations, man. This is what we want. Bring in men like this, people like this, that have a story to tell. You don't know who you are, man, until you've been in it, man. You know what I mean? So the best people to lead are the people that have been there already, right? So you've been there, you've done it, and you're succeeding, and we applaud you, bro. We appreciate you. And we hope you get every year moving forward in your life, many more, for you to continue being sober, for you to continue impacting these people you've been impacting. And we'll be praying for you, my brother, and your family, man, and your kids. And
Amen.
And we just thank you, man. Thanks Rennie Studios for allowing us to have our podcast here. We thank you. To our sponsor, D-Wipes, thank you so much. Keep it clean, D-Wipes, something finally for men. And we want to thank Rich Off Printing for their sponsorship. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. Check out these people underneath. You'll see D-Wipes, Rich Off Printing, and of course our guest today, Mastermind Care, our brother here, Joaquin, man. Thank you so much for blessing us. And we look forward to more conversations with you, Jesse. Again, thank you. Everybody listening and watching, and we look forward to more conversations with you. And just come with us on this journey, man. We look forward to seeing you more. Thank you so much.